What's up, Cigar Club family? Welcome back to another episode of the Cigar Club podcast. I'm Pugh, and along with me, as always, is Griff Howie. If this is your first time joining us, thank you so much for tuning in. The Cigar Club podcast is where we talk all things cigars with the Cigar Club family every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about our favorite yearly releases and just yearly releases in general. What are some of our favorites, some of that we would wish maybe be a yearly release, all while smoking the brand new Las Calaveras 2022 from Crown Head Cigars. So we know what we're smoking. Griff, you haven't decided yet. What size are you going to grab, and what are you drinking, and what are you drinking from?
Top of the afternoon, Pugh. We got lots of questions this afternoon. I am drinking from our good friends over at Pirani.life, I think is the actual website that I always butcher every single podcast. They've been so kind to offer us a generous little discount code if you want to pick up a couple of these stainless steel tumblers. Cigar Club Podcast is the discount code. I've said it once, I've said it twice. My family loves these. We've bought double digits of these, and I have been using them almost every single day because what I'm drinking right now, to answer that question, I'm drinking a ranch water. And that's all I've been drinking the past.
Homemade ranch water or?
Homemade.
Ooh, we getting litty. I like it.
Yeah, I've been on a big ranch water kick, and it's kind of bad to say, but it's almost been like an everyday type thing. And
they're refreshing. They hydrate you a little bit. They get you where you want to go.
There's no badness in them. You know, there's no sugar. Well, I mean, there's a little bit of sugar, but it's now I'm having the fun part of like experimenting with tequilas, which is now also like a very dangerous hobby. I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm. It's a rabbit hole. It's a new rabbit hole.
I've got now probably 6 or 7 bottles in there, and it's very interesting to me how, holy shit, I think that's a flying ant. This thing is looking right at me. It's a big ant, but it just flew.
I mean, it's usually my house that has the random attack bugs.
And I go down. I don't remember what I was saying.
R.I.P.
But yeah, ranch waters, y'all, if you don't know what they consist of, any tequila, my go-to right now is like a reposado, and then Perrier, or technically you're supposed to use Topo Chico, or Club Soda would be fine, or LaCroix or anything.
Yeah,
and then I do like 2 lime wedges, and it's the best. It's so good.
I'm curious to see. I've never had a ranch water, or really, I don't drink tequila too often. I've done mezcal with a cigar, but I don't think I've ever done just normal tequila with a cigar. So I'm really curious to see how that pairs. I don't know if you've had a ranch water yet while smoking a cigar, if this will be your first.
No, because my last cigar was Friday morning, and so I was not drinking then. But and I did not have anything this weekend, so cigar-wise. But that's something we need to start getting into, is like tequila. Like, go through a line of a Blanco, Reposado, and Anejo. And,
I think that'd be a lot of fun. Grab like a Casamigos, one of each, Añejo, Reposado, and Blanco. You gonna be okay, bud? At least when I have a insect attack me, it's a bee.
No, he's dead now.
Well,
but I also ripped my screen a little bit. Kind of ticked about that.
Ooh, that's not a good trade, bud.
Damn,
that's not a good trade at all.
Now the mosquitoes can inch her.
Oh, no.
Back to your question like 10 minutes ago. I don't know what size I'm going to smoke.
Show that box off first, though. The box this year, and if memory serves me, most of the time the boxes have been... No, I guess one time they were black. I don't know if they're always black or if they're wood, but there's something about the white box this year that I really, really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And for anyone that's not watching, I've gotten bad about not visualizing for people that are just listening, so I apologize. He's got the limited edition exclusive, or limited edition sampler box for the Las Calaveras 2020. Thank you to Wes over at Crown Heads for supporting the podcast with these samplers. It's got the 3 regular releases, and then each year they include a specific unique Vitola. This year it was a Petite Lancero that was the unique size that can only be found in the sampler, which I really enjoy, except when that unique size hits and you enjoy it better than the regular sizes that they come out with.
I think I'm going to go with the Robusto. Are you already smoking?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, buddy.
Well,
hell. So Griff's grabbing the Robusto. I grabbed the LC46, which is kind of a Corona. So just to break everyone down while Griff lights up his cigar and hopefully his lighter works. This year, Nicaraguan Corojo 99 wrapper with straight across the board Nicaraguan binder and filler. The L46 is a 5 3/4 by 46, and then you said you went for the Robusto, which I think they call. I'm gonna have to find it before I say this.
Bigger than a 50, personally, but
I think it's a 54. I think they call it the LC54, but we're gonna confirm here. It is the LC52, and then they also have a Toro, which is the LC45.
Nice draw.
Yeah, the cold draw on this was like raisins,
very fruity.
Kind of chocolate, and then the exclusive size just for the actual size of it. It is a Petite Lancero. It's a 6.5 by 40.
Well, next time going forward, I'm gonna be like finishing a cigar, enjoying the podcast.
I mean, I gotta run through everything while you get to sit there. I'm sorry that I've gotta, get a preemptive start to the show.
No, I'm just saying, like, show a little courtesy.
I'm sorry to offend you.
Ever heard of manners? So we haven't done a podcast in quite a while. You just got back from your little girl's trip.
We did,
and went to is it called Chi Town? Is that like the
Chi-Town?
Oh, Chi-Town.
CHI.
I didn't know if you actually pronounced the H, though.
Yeah, Chi-Town. Yeah, so we went to, just got back in last night, super late, from a bachelor party in Chicago. I was there for 4 days. First time in Chicago. Absolutely loved it. Had a blast. My body, as I was telling you this morning, Griff, it's confused if this was a healthy weekend. I think I walked like 10 miles a day, or if it was an unhealthy weekend because I drank all day and ate all day.
I mean, that is nice that y'all walked a lot, but...
I love it. That's my favorite part. I mean, not that I want to live in a city, but I wish I had the ability to like walk to all these places where I live, because it's just...
Did you wear your orthotics?
No. I actually ripped a hole in the back of my shoe the first day, so that was fun. That was fun. Nice little callus on the back of my heel.
You must have been hauling ass.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to see. I was hoofing it to Blue Bottle into a cigar shop.
Oh, I didn't know you went to Blue Bottle.
Mm-hmm.
How was it?
Did you? I guess I sent you the photos, but I guess because I'm Android and
I never got any.
I sent it to you and Ramsey in a group chat. Yeah, I went to Blue Bottle.
No, I got. I don't know if I got one of you smoking the overpriced Opus, but
Flint,
not
the. Yeah, it was just before that. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just sent it to Ramsey.
Maybe I just missed it.
I walked over to Blue Bottle, and first time going, it's obviously synonymous with the rise in third wave coffee prior to them getting bought out by Nestea. Anywho, doesn't matter. So I was really excited to go over there. Got a pour over. It was fantastic. Sat outside. Wasn't too bad. I expected it to be a lot more than it was. I think it was only like $5 or $6 for a cup of coffee. And that was a blast. And then after that, I saw that there was a beautiful cigar shop maybe half a block away over at the Clayton. If you're ever in Chicago, you've got to stop here. This place has basically the highest top-end humidor that you could have.
Did you
really
not do
nice
research on that place or any cigar lounge in general?
No, I did. Every cigar place that I for some reason, I didn't find this one. I had a list of cigar shops that I wanted to go to, and then I was like, well, let's go to Boo Bottle. And I just put in a kind of perimeter search, and I saw the Clayton, and I guess because it was just called the Clayton, it didn't have like cigar shop in it, and I maybe have overlooked it, but I was going through their photos, and originally thought it was a private members lounge only.
Yeah.
But then maybe on some additional research I saw, they've got a private lounge only for members, and then they have just a humidor and lounge area for non-members. But it was great. Sat down. I grabbed the Opus 20th anniversary, the blue label.
Yeah, I'm dying.
One that I've wanted to smoke, and I was like, you know what? I'm on a bachelor party. Let's not be turned away from a price tag. And it was.
Here we go.
It was okay. It was okay. It was not worth what I paid for it. It was not worth.
No, it wasn't worth what you paid for it.
Fair.
Let's tell the fam. plus tax, with tax, out the door you go.
I paid $75 for it. And I think the MSRP is like $60, so it wasn't overpriced. First time I'd ever seen one, so I wasn't, I had no issue. But
I'm all for that.
A ton of Davidoffs.
That's a pricey expense. That's a pricey.
I agree wholeheartedly. Ton of Davidoffs, ton of Fuentes. I mean, these guys were pulling. I was talking to the tobacconist for 2 hours. It was just him and I because it was early. First, I went to open the door and it was locked still. That's when I showed up. So it was just him and I chilling for 2 hours. People came in and bought some cigars, but didn't hang around until just after lunch. But I mean, they were pulling Fuentes out of every part of that damn humidor.
Really?
Pichardo, Plasencia, Crown Heads, Padron. I mean,
did
just
they have Plasencia Year of the Tiger?
They did not. And if they did, I would have bought it for us. They had they had the Davidoff Year of the Tiger.
I would still try that one probably.
It was a little bit over MSRP, or else I would have bought it for us to smoke. But it was more than I was willing to pay for that.
I will say, when you told me the name, I Googled it, and it's very... I could see, like, finding that website or that location online and just kind of overpassing it or overlooking it because it's there's nothing there, really. It's like a picture of the lounge, but there's no, like, info. It's very kind of...
It's almost like speakeasy, in terms of the exclusivity that it seemed to have. But it was really cool. You walk in, and it's just the humidor is in the middle of the shop, and it's all glass, so you can see right into it. Really, really nice. I really enjoyed that place. The tobacconist was super knowledgeable. And guess what? You're going to have to help me on this one, Griff. He's got me. I'm getting a pipe. I'm going to get a pipe, and I'm going to get some pipe tobacco. I'm going to pull the trigger on that.
Tobacco. I'll bring it to Mobile. I got some warped stuff.
Do you have an extra pipe?
Probably. That
you should bring it down. Let's do it. Yeah, let's try it. I
got Cloud Hopper.
I want to try their warped stuff.
And I got one other. It smells amazing. It is amazing. It's really good stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just a process.
But I left with some goodies as well. Obviously I spent that, and then I probably spent another $70 leaving with some.
What'd you buy?
I bought another regular, just Fuente Opus X, just because I only had one in the humidor, and so I'll buy this one just to sit on. I love smoking that cigar over like Thanksgiving. It's just and I don't have anything that sells Fuente. I bought the new Toro Blanca, which is a brand that you haven't heard of, and I need to reach out. The Toro rep was supposed to show up while I was there, and I kind of like hung around longer than I wanted to see if he would show up, and he didn't. So I was like, all right, I'm out. But that's a brand that I would love to bring in. Those cigars, everyone that I've smoked has been wonderful. We didn't get a chance to go over there at TPE, PCA, because they just launched the Blanchas, their new line that they've come out with. But another one of those brands that smokes, at least the ones that I've smoked, smoke higher than the MSRP, which is always really exciting.
That's nice.
And then I left with a house blend. They have a Honduran house blend that's a Honduran Puro. He told me, and I don't remember. Go figure.
That's great.
But
it's
I had to buy that.
A lot of lounges, I think, are starting to get into.
Mm-hmm.
Even Hostos. I'm not going to say much more than that, but like, why doesn't? And maybe it's just connections and stuff, but it's almost like I'm trying to think of like a real life example. I know there's one out there, like not cigar related, that you could go get, house beer or the house wine, like, right?
For sure.
Or the, I think if they can, of course, every cigar lounge should have their own house blend. That would be really cool because I would buy it everywhere I go.
Yeah, I think the reason I pulled the trigger. Yeah, exactly. I think the reason I pulled the trigger on this one was
every Puro.
Well, yes, that for sure. But every lounge that I go into, the house blends that they have tend to be just unbanded cigars.
Yeah.
In like, a box that's got each different vitola, and it looks. The presentation of it normally comes off as like filler, like, short filler cigars that they get for 50 cents each. This one, they had boxes. They were they were presented like a regular brand. And so I felt that just the presentation alone of that house blend was enough to pull the trigger on. So really excited to smoke that.
That's exciting.
But no, overall, an absolute fantastic time. The only other cigar that I smoked was Bits. Shout out to the blurriest photo in the world while walking home
Horrible.
in the rain, and after a $150 meal. We ate at Harry Carey's. I got a 40-year-old, Jesus
Jesus
40A,
Christ.
18-ounce ribeye. We all left there just buckles
it?
undone, and it was fantastic. It was.
Yeah.
We had appetizers, entrees, and
awesome.
somehow found room for dessert too. So and cocktails.
Yeah.
So that was a rough walk home. I was a little too full, and then we went back and drank a bottle of Wild Turkey in the room. So
Oh, good. Sounds like a very productive weekend. You took the bus back home.
I love
and all
Chicago.
that?
Definitely want to go back. But enough of me. Let's jump into it real quick. That
was a lot about you.
It was. That was a little too much.
17 minutes of you.
I'm not Jesus. Well, you asked, so thanks, buddy. But before we get into the main topic, I haven't shouted this out yet, and that's my apologies for us being too busy. But out now is going to be the new exclusive with Pachardo. It is our Pichardo Natural. It's Griff. This was kind of your brainchild. You really had the inception and the idea of this one.
I'm the mastermind behind this.
Do you want to run with that?
Idea. No, I mean it's kind of speaks for itself. I think if you listen to podcasts, you tend to know that I enjoy a smaller ring gauge and overall smaller cigar vitola, just strictly because personally I think there's more of a craft to it, and if it's a good smaller cigar, I know and this one was a toss-up with.
We did go back and forth.
Clasico, I call it Clasico. I think, is it natural or is it Clasico? I call them both.
It's the Clasico Natural, specifically.
Okay. Prior to that was the Red Band, Habano.
Yeah.
Drawing a blank on that name too. That cigar to me, the Red Band, the Family Reserve, Habano is just so
Reserva
familiar. I can never say that one.
Yeah.
But I smoked the Clasico Natural and a Toro, which we carried months and months.
The biggest Toro in the world, mind you.
Massive Toro, which it kind of reminds me of this Calaveras Toro. And I don't know if you and I were smoking at the same time, but I'm like, son of a bitch, this is up there with one of the most cleanest cigars I've smoked, and I've compared it to like Supreme Leaf, Aganorsa Supreme Leaf. So I'm like, if we could do this in a like a petite Corona,
petite Corona. It's a 5x43.
Wes loved this cigar so much he ordered like himself an extra couple of bundles, and I think, honest to God, he smoked them all.
I think he smoked them in like 2 weeks.
He had one I think he could bring to PCA for us.
Yeah,
but he was smoking them back to back. Fantastic cigar. The size is just one of my favorites, and I think it turned out really nice.
Yeah, I sat down and smoked it last week, and I immediately texted Wes, and I texted you afterwards. This cigar, I'm going to put it up on screen again, has some of the best smoke output that I've ever had in a cigar. I think it rivals. Everyone usually kind of the baseline for smoke output tends to be like Ligas, and everyone always says they do something to artificially produce that amount of smoke. I assure you this is all natural, and just constantly full heavy mouth puffs, smokes in your mouth, and overall wonderful cigar. Love the size, especially at the end of summer. It's still hot here. We're still hitting 80s or upper 80s and 90s. So I don't want anything that's going to take me for too long to smoke. I think this will be a great winter smoke as well when you don't want to necessarily smoke a heavy Maduro. Overall, just fantastic. I could not be more happy with how that size in that blend turned out. And I would not be surprised if Wes alone doesn't get this to move to a limited full production or a production.
It really should. Cigar. I mean, I think Crown Heads in general, other than a couple of their lines. Right. No, to me, I think every brand should blend a cigar in that size just because I think there's a market there. Like,
I agree.
You got your big ring gauge, your 6x64s, or you dislocated your jaw to smoke these things. But on the other end of the spectrum, there's got to be an audience. I'm in that group for sure. So
yeah, absolutely. And then lastly, we now officially have a podcast discount code for all our listeners. So you can get 20% off any retail items by using the code podcast on checkout. Pretty much most things are going to be discounted on there. So that is for all of y'all and kind of our thank you for the continued support and the ongoing support. But let's get into it now. We've talked enough and just now getting to it. One of my favorite topics is yearly releases, kind of anticipated releases. Mine, by far, is always the Las Calaveras. We did a bet on the color of it, which we kind of split down the middle.
Yeah,
but one that I've always excited for. I always buy the sampler or a 5-pack, usually of the 52 or the 46. And just, I don't know, just one that it may just because it's kind of nostalgic for me because it's kind of the first yearly release that I fell in love with and kind of bought into the exclusivity of it, the hype of it. But I think brands have a good time with it, and I wish more did it because it's something that I can mark on my calendar. I know summer every year they're going to announce the color of the band, which gets me excited, and then kind of the changes that they make to it each year. I have to say this Corojo wrapper, you're not going to be able to see it, but maybe I'll throw it up there. It's a toothy son of a gun.
It is. When he sent me this,
grit.
I opened it just for a brief second, and then I threw it in the Boveda bag. But I hadn't actually inspected the cigars. It absolutely has some grit to it.
Yeah. I mean, this is damn sandpaper.
It reminds me, obviously, of the Barbecue Buddha cigar, but it's not as toothy. But you don't see a lot of wrappers like this.
No.
If you do, maybe
unless it's Maduro.
Overlooking it. But great draw, phenomenal burn.
Yeah.
It's smoking actually pretty quick. I'm smoking a little too quick, actually.
I think it's got a pretty good burn to it. I'm in the wind right now, so my ash is a little wonky. But so far, the cold draw was like plums and raisins.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to tell you. I'm not going to make up tasting notes for it right now as I smoke it. I have no discerning palate at this moment from the weekend. But great draw, great smoke output. The flavors that I am getting, although I won't be able to tell you what they are pleasant. You know, there's definitely some changes to it. Yeah, absolutely. So I've said this is my favorite yearly release. It always has been since I've smoked. I think it was the 2016, which I'm trying to recall. I think it was a Black Band was the first one that I smoked. Still to this day, my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Although I don't have any more of those. The second would be, I believe, 2018, which was the Green Band, which was a Mexican San Andreas wrapper. So I'm curious to see as I smoke this one a few times where this will land in my kind of rankings that I have in my head. But I define yearly releases as I don't necessarily know if it needs a set date that it drops. I know this will come every year in around the summertime, but I don't think that is needed for a yearly release to be qualified as a yearly release, as opposed to, I don't know, I'm getting into the weeds here, but maybe an exclusive cigar.
Yeah.
But essentially something within the same name that you can expect every year. I don't want to give away any other examples and potentially maybe steal one from you, but that's kind of where I'm at with what I call a yearly release. Obviously that's subject to be your own interpretation of it, but that's kind of where my headspace is at.
I really like yearly releases because, again, to your point, it's like something to look forward to. You can collect them as well, which I know you do, and you've sent me some. You can see the differences in prior blends. There's so many. There's so many things you can do with them. You can have your favorite years, but it's something that we don't talk about a whole lot, and it's also, to me, it's something that I really actually have to think about. It's hard for me to compile a list in my head of yearly releases.
Yeah.
I don't know why my brain just doesn't wrap its head around the concept, I suppose. But obviously one of my favorite brands in the entire world, and I've got predictions for this year. HVC, which, trivia question, do you know what HVC stands for?
I do, but I couldn't tell you right now. Something City. Havana
Good
City.
job. Okay. Havana City.
Nailed it. There we are.
Yes. Congrats. We'll send you a 5-pack.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But
do I email myself?
Please do. Copy me. One of my one of my favorite brands, HVC, luckily enough, does a annual release called Black Friday.
Yep.
My predictions, not to jump ahead of this, is that it will be produced out of his new Nicaraguan factory this year.
Yeah. I
want to just ask him. He would tell me, I'm sure, but it's got to be.
There's
no
down
way
there.
It couldn't be. He's there right now.
He's down there this weekend. Yeah. So timeline
I know,
works.
but I know he's working on his like selection number 1 and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
It's really cool. Did you see like some of his pictures? It's like 6 or 8 people, small room, like very small factory. Yeah. But
I was really mad that he started out with the Summer of Stash and then he shaved it like the next day.
Yeah.
And it looked good.
That's my prediction, is that Black Friday 2022 will be coming out of that new factory. Last year's was like a Robusto Extra 4 3/8 by 54. Yeah. Kind of a short,
I think it was like a short Robusto.
Yeah.
That was a powerhouse. God,
I mean, they all are, and I think that's also a reason that I just love them.
Yeah.
The year prior was like more of a Corona Gorda, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't know.
Do you have a prediction on the size?
One of my favorite blends. I wish it was normal production, but then again, I'm like, kind of don't, because Calaveras to you is Black Friday to me, right?
Yeah, exactly. Do you have a prediction of the size, or maybe even better, like what size do you want to see it in?
No, I don't. There's really been no rhyme or reason to his sizing. I looked a while back, and I remember seeing the past several years, and it was all over the spectrum. So there was no like pattern to even base my hypothesis.
I don't know the previous sizes that he's done in that blend, because it's not. I'm only just now getting on board the Black Friday. It's one that I've always known existed, but I never kind of experienced it and really enjoyed that cigar. But immediately after smoking last year's blend, I would love that in a closed foot Bellicoso.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I want to, specifically because that wrapper is always so just punchy and flavorful. I want a little bit. I'm not a super fan of closed feet, but I do think they serve a purpose when the wrapper justifies it. And I think that HVC Black Friday justifies it.
Pretty positive he doesn't do anything closed foot.
I don't think he does either. Not that I can think of.
That could be interesting.
Yeah. I think it'd be
that could be really interesting. No, I mean, I don't know. With that blend, I could see some of the smaller engaged cigars and smaller Vitolas just being just too much.
Yeah.
As much as I'd love a smaller Black Friday, I don't know. I feel like he's going to do something on the bigger side, like a traditional Toro or something, but
full Churchill. Go for it.
3.5 hours.
You'd have to take that in segments and recuperate in between each third.
Exactly. But another fun fact about HVC Black Friday is it's always 50 count boxes. Why he does 50 count boxes on that, not 100% sure, but that never changes.
God. All right, so I scratched the Churchill because that would be massive.
2x4s.
You got to get a forklift to get that delivered to your house.
Yeah. It reminds me of like some of Kyle's drops of bits, like a cabinet of bits, or even like 6102R. I think they're cabinets of 100.
I do love. I mean, I've never owned a cabinet
something
because
badass about that.
My new storage system, I could. She's coming along.
That's right.
I came back from
that
Chicago.
Just seems excessive though, having cabinets of.
Yeah. I came back from Chicago. I left a distilled water in it, and it was at 84% humidity. So I pulled the water out. I'm letting it come down. I think I'm debating. I don't know. Long-term storage. Do I do 69 or 72? Do you know?
No difference.
You don't think?
No.
Well, I'm going to sit in between 69 or 72, but I could fit a cabinet now. I certainly couldn't before. Maybe go like 610R, the Medio Tempo from Warped cabinet. That would be sick.
Yeah, you can pick one up for like $2,000.
Yeah, woohoo!
Well, yeah. When we had those in boxes a while ago, we were still in Pensacola. I went over there and just picked up a couple cabinets. And I'm like, Oh, this is badass.
Yeah. It's a great presentation, but it's not practical
man.
for a consumer. It's practical for a human or a retail shop.
Speaking of that could be a really interesting yearly release.
The MDT
6102R, yeah, MDT.
Yeah. Well, that segues right into my second favorite yearly release. If it's going to be the Warp Skyflower. Now, yes, I agree. Back in 2016 was the first time I had Warp Skyflower, and it was phenomenal. Like, I bought.
Yep.
I think I maybe bought like a 5-pack or a 3-pack, and then I smoked it, and I bought a box. And I've bought a box every year since. With last year, I believe, was the Lancero. And
you mean the sponge?
It needs time. I have 4 or 5 left that I want to re-smoke, but ever since I think 2018 was probably the last one that I was like, man, this is really good right out of the box. They have gone downhill, and I
hate to say it, but I mean, it is what it is.
It crushes me, and it's not going to stop me. It's not going to stop me from buying a box every year, but the consistency or maybe the quality is certainly dipped a little bit. Maybe it's me. It could be that my palate has changed, or the reminiscing of how good 2016 was, or maybe it was the newness of 2016 because it was the first time I smoked it.
Maybe. That's a good point.
Maybe it was the exact same then as it as it is now, but I've evolved. I've smoked more cigars. Maybe I have higher expectations. So it could be certainly me as a cigar smoker, but that is a yearly release that I'm excited about every year. I love, Kyle dropping hints that he's blending it or he's smoking it, and always excited for that to come out. I always buy a 10-count box of those, and I will every single time.
What do you think the size will be?
I would love to see him go like a traditional Cuban size, like an Edmundo or a 109 cap. I think those would be really fun.
Yeah, you don't see a whole lot of 109s anymore, I feel like.
You don't. Ever since Carson came out with that for the Wayfarer, I've been a huge fan of that. It's just kind of a little soft taper. It's just different, and it's classic. Yeah. So that would be my hope. Or if he didn't, I kind of want to see how Skyflower smokes in something shorter and going away from the Lancero and doing something like, not to beat a dead horse, a petite Corona, a Corona, maybe even like a short Robusto. I think similar to the new size of Bits, I think that would be really cool to smoke in a Skyflower blend.
That size could be actually really, really good with that blend. I don't know.
Kind of keep the Medio tempo the same and then just let it push forward. Like, let that just be, because that's what I remember most from the 2016 blend that I smoked. And as far as I know at the time, it was the first time I had ever smoked Medio tempo, or a cigar that had Medio tempo in it. And I was like, oh my God, this is the bee's knees. Like, this is the shit. This is a flavor profile that I absolutely love. And I don't know, maybe if the scaling of Medio tempo has been less in each blend, or the different sizes that have come out every year obviously tweaks the blend, but I haven't got that full frontal, I know this has Medio tempo in it and I can pick it out without having to think about it. So once again, could be me. I'm not trying to diminish what Kyle has done each year with the Skyflower, but that's what I would like to see, and I'd love to see that Medio tempo really shine.
Yeah, I like you. We'll either get it for the club or get it personally, but I'll probably get it as well because I don't know. There's something about Warp cigars that
I'll never stop being a fanboy.
Just always gets me. I don't know why. There's no other brand out there that does it like that.
I agree.
Personally, that's me personally.
Yeah. No, I think, I mean, there's definitely other brands, but to me, I think it just holds that special place. We were both Warped boutique guys from the start, and you're always going to kind of fall back to it. But you're out of HVC. I'm really curious to see where you take this, because you're, like you said in the beginning, you're not, you don't write it on your calendar in anticipation of something coming out. I budget it, to make sure that I'm ready for it. But I'm curious to see if you have any other yearly releases that you enjoy smoking, whether or not you buy a box or write it in, but one that you look forward to, or maybe you don't actually even smoke it. One of the ones on my list I've never actually smoked before, for no other reason than I haven't. But it's one that I look forward to every year just to see what they come out with. But
I don't even know where you're going with that.
Yeah, you'll see.
That's very interesting. I was also thinking about cigars while you were talking that I would like to be like converted. I don't even know what the right term is.
For sure.
But then again, I'm like, maybe not, because
it's exclusive.
you can't get them after that year, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing that I kind of love and hate about this topic is
you can't get it.
Maybe right. Maybe it's like when HVC Black Friday comes out this year and it's solid, which it will be because it's coming out of Nicaragua. I know, out of his new factory. I know. Maybe it's like time to just stock up.
I think what it allows them to do is use tobaccos that are phenomenal. Maybe they've been sitting on them, but the production isn't there or wasn't there to justify a release that they can reproduce year over year. So I think it gives them a little bit more blending power and a little bit more creativity to produce something that they know is going to be one-off, and they don't have to worry about quality assurance each year or figuring out a ways to reproduce that blend with available harvests each year. So that's why I love exclusives, whether it be wine, beer, bourbon, you name it, cigars, obviously.
My brain instantly went to Selection Viejo by Rodriguez. Like, him tweaking that blend, as much as I love Selection Viejo, like OG or whatever we want to call it, just the normal line, I feel like he could do some crazy things, and that cigar is one of my all-time favorites.
Never smoked it?
That would be something I would put on my calendar to get, because Rodriguez cigars in general are already hard to get just because he's a small boutique, factory. He does ship, though. I'm pretty sure you can buy cigars directly from his website, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, some
Selection Viejo you cannot. That's like the
you can only get there in Key West, right?
Yeah, and now it's even hard to get in the store. But if he did like an annual tweak on the blend of that cigar, hands down, I would grab it every time.
Yeah, someone was supposed to send me some, but I won't name
Who's
him. That? I don't know. He may share my name. Supposed to send me that.
I didn't know that.
Little OG Villa Sombra.
I got one of those I can send you.
You don't need to take an L for him. He said, he's like, I got it packaged up. It's labeled and everything. I just need to drop it off, 3 months ago. But we won't name him, but that's okay. It gives me a little thing to hold over his head for all eternity.
No, we need that for everybody in our life. But not to get back to the Crown Heads train, I'm considering Mel Diaz annual yearly release. Yeah,
they've got their core line, and then they do something exciting and new and different each year. It seems like for it
this year do we have any additional Marinitos in the warehouse? I'm pretty sure I don't have any.
I sent you some.
Okay, then
you don't have any left over. Maybe
I don't have any left over. Marinitos. So Marinitos was the 2022. This is where it gets a little fuzzy.
Exactly, it gets into the weeds here
because I don't know if Marinitos will be a regular production cigar. I'm pretty positive it is. So then again, it doesn't necessarily
is an exclusive. Is some exclusives kind of cross the line to be yearly releases, and then so yeah.
But they did have some. They did have some Vitola changes as well. But so maybe like 2023, it could be a Marinitos.
Different size or its own kind of.
Yeah, Marinitos is like the Maduro Mil Diaz, if you will, and
great. That was really good.
That is a cigar that's completely left my brain for no reason that I got to pull to the top of the humidor to grab this week.
I think the issue was you smoked that, and then you smoked La Crema, and then La Crema became like the bee's knees for you, and then you slept on Marinitos.
Those two cigars to me, which actually I want to reply back to him and get a box of those 2022s
I figured
for
you
us. Do we have any 21s? We could do a 2021 and a 2022 La Cream
podcast
discussion.
While you fill in air, I'll tell you.
So, yeah, La Cream,
No.
lovely. And Marinitos, phenomenal cigars, probably in my top three. Both of those are my top three Crown Heads portfolio cigars.
Which makes sense. Totally.
Right. Really.
If you hadn't,
really good.
on the same topic, if you hadn't had a chance yet, I can't remember which Las Calaveras you smoked when we did the podcast, whenever that was. If you have the green one, which is a Mexican San Andreas wrapper, and I may have said this on the podcast, so forgive me if I've repeated myself, listeners. That is the one that I think when I gave you the 4 or 5 that I gave you, I thought that was going to be or would be your favorite. So if you didn't smoke that one then, whenever you get a chance, definitely smoke that because I think that's right up your alley with that Mexican San Andreas wrapper on it.
Yeah.
And it's toothy as all get out.
Marinitos is just such a great name. Like, it's fun to say. It's a phenomenal cigar. Oh, so good. So 2023, it would be next year. I keep thinking it's 2023 now. 2023, I'm just going to hypothesize Marinitos in a smaller size. I'm all in.
Yeah, I agree. So another one of my yearly releases, and this is the one that I was talking about that I've never smoked, but I absolutely love the marketing behind it. I love the concept behind it. I love the idea behind it. And there's no excuse of why I haven't smoked it yet. I don't know if you can hear that grass being cut. Great timing.
No, I thought
it's
it was
going to be
behind me. That was weird.
Yep, the Tatuaje Monster Series. Comes out every year around Halloween. I love the kind of slasher, monster of the year that they picked.
We'll get him
whether
this year.
it be
We'll get him this year.
Jason, Freddy, now I've drawn a blank on all the other ones, but they even do, I think they do samplers for it, but to me, the coffins that they come in are usually like monster themed. They did a Frankenstein, which was looking like the box that they came in looked like a coffin. Just super cool. The Jason was a white box with like a slash on it. Really cool concept. I love the idea of it. I need to find a sampler to try them all. They even do like the Tatuaje skinny monsters, which are Lanceros or petite Lanceros. Really, really cool. I don't know why I've never jumped on the hype train of it. Could be because you can only get them in, like 10 count boxes. So I didn't necessarily want to pull the trigger on $100+ for, something that I didn't know if I was going to like. But that one I look forward to every year and kind of see Pete Johnson's kind of build up of just similar to Las Calaveras, like what's it going to be and what monsters are going to be after.
Yeah, but I also think the genius part of that is it's kind of released and scripted around Halloween.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm a huge slasher fan. I love all the old school, horror monster movies. The cheesier, the better. And so that's one that I'm going to have to get it this year and
we'll buy a box for the podcast and
there you go.
And talk through it. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Tatuaje is just a brand that I don't smoke a lot of.
And it kills me that I haven't.
I don't even know if my shop has it, to be honest with you.
And that's why I haven't. Is the only Tatuaje that I smoked was the Havana 4 or Havana 6. It's the red band one. It's kind of more of their, I don't want to say entry, but lower priced. I think it's like $6 or $7 maybe. And it didn't hit. I think I smoked it back maybe 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
It didn't blow me away. I would probably go on to say that I didn't like it when I smoked it then. And I've only smoked a few other Tatuajes. And I don't know why I've slept on them. And that's a brand that I know everyone loves.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the name Monster Series.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get them this year. August, September. So they'll be released, in another month and a half?
Something like that. Unless he's not doing them this year, which would be heartbreaking.
Yeah, we should look into that. I cannot believe September is, let's just call it next week, even though it's based. Well, no, it is next week, isn't it?
It is. It is next week.
God.
I know. Yeah.
Then 3 months
this year
until the year's done.
This year has flown by. I mean, to the fact that we're thinking it's 2023 because we're already planning for 2023.
God.
We live and work not only in the daily, but we also live 6-7 months down the pipeline. It gets real confusing.
Every year is faster and faster and faster. That is insane. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Overall thoughts on crazy. I'm
I wish
actually
I could
a little
focus on.
past you, believe it or not.
Yeah, you're chiefing that bad boy.
Yeah,
you must have missed smoking cigars this weekend.
I know. It's just a great cigar.
Mm-hmm. Really great mouthfeel, great smoke output. That toothy wrapper is translating into a super toothy ash, which is always super photogenic. I'm going to have to re-smoke it again when I can actually sit down and try to pick out flavors. Still just recovering from the weekend, but even on a undiscerning palate, great smoke, enjoyable flavors.
Yeah,
and
beautiful cigar.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love this blue band. The blue band, the blue with the white box pops.
Yeah.
If you're a Tar Heel fan, you're probably buying a box just for the the color scheme alone.
Yeah, the artwork is just so cool and well done, and it's a fun cigar.
So I've got one more. I know we talked about top 3, but this is one that is fun. I've smoked a few of them, but not as many as I'd like. Would be the Davidoff Year of whatever Chinese New Year animal it is. It was Year of the Tiger this year. They've done ox and pig and rat and you name it. Placencia hopped on board this year with the Year of the Tiger. I smoked the Year of the Ox, or I have a Year of the Ox. I've smoked one before and I have one. So whatever it is. Yeah. But those are fun. The Year of the Tiger this year we talked about with Jeff before when we were in Cincinnati, but that one is a super cool wrapper.
Yeah.
I was talking to the guy at the Clayton in Chicago, and he thinks that the way they fermented that wrapper, because it's just one wrapper, but it's got tiger stripes to it.
Right. We talked about that. Yeah.
He was thinking, and he said it, and I was like, well, that totally makes sense. He's thinking that they may have draped thin strips of cloth around the cigar to, I'm trying to think of the wording that he used, but to basically provide different levels of fermentation to the wrapper as it aged. So like wet cloth or something like that. So it had different exposure to air. I don't know, but it sounds right, because how else are you going to have one single cigar wrapper that has different levels of fermentation?
It's got to be something like that. But I mean, and I can't imagine the time.
That's why it's a one-time release, and it has a $60 price range to it, or cost.
Jeez.
But I was like, that sounds right.
I've only seen videos and pictures of them, but I've not seen.
They're gorgeous. It is gorgeous. I don't regret not pulling the trigger, but you know me and paying over MSRP, man.
I know, but the other one was $15 over MSRP. Was this the same?
No, it was a little bit more.
Yeah, that would be tough, but I think that justifies. So what was that? Do you remember out the door what it would be? $60?
I don't.
Yeah.
I think it was more than that, but it was gorgeous.
Steep. That's steep. Mm-hmm. That's really steep. You spend more on cigars than I would, but I don't know.
If it wasn't a bachelor party, I would not have.
Yeah, I know.
But I was like, I was there. I had a whole day to myself. I was like, you know what? Why not?
Yeah.
Let's feel a little bougie. Let's see what the other side looks like.
Yeah. I would do the same. Well, where do we go from here?
Well,
no, I don't.
I would probably say the only way to go is up.
Yeah.
But we do have
your liver this week.
Yeah, until this weekend. We are driving to Atlanta. We're going to Chastain on Saturday. We're going to see a band called Yacht Rock Live. Okay. So it's a one band that does covers of all like Steely Dan and Hall & Oates type music.
Oh, nice.
That's going to be Chastain's an outdoor event, so hopefully it doesn't rain. I'm got to delve into if I can smoke. I assume I can't since it's a public venue, but how sick would that be?
Don't even. Yeah, there's no shot.
But we're going down Saturday, spending the night, and come back Saturday. And we're heading down. We're
Friday going come back Saturday?
I wish she'll be in Atlanta
you're
Friday.
Going same day.
Yeah, we're going early Saturday morning.
Got it.
She's going down to Atlanta for a conference on Friday, and then riding with people and then coming back. Or else I thought about finding a place to chill. And,
Yeah.
But yeah. But it'll be a fun weekend. I'll detox till then. Well, no, I got to drink tomorrow.
No, you're only an hour and 45 from here, so.
Yeah.
Swing
Come on
by.
down. Yeah.
No.
I got to drink tomorrow. We got a
I'm
fun
not going
special
anywhere.
event.
What's tomorrow? Oh, yeah.
Doing a little something fun
Yeah,
with our friends over at My Bourbon Journey.
So, actually, because this will be tomorrow's, so
It'll be the same day. Yep.
Tonight, even though it's tomorrow, we're going to be live on My Bourbon Journey's YouTube channel with Jason from the Mash and Drum and Troy from Pop 'Em Don't Watch 'Em, and which is a great name, by the way.
That's a damn great name.
I know. But we're going to be doing a barrel pick, a collaborative barrel pick with them, and a collaborative cigar with them. So tomorrow, or tonight rather, will be the bourbon tasting.
Yep. The pick.
And then maybe next week's stream, or I don't know when the cigar
Follow-up one will be. Yeah.
sampling will be. But we're going to release them both, so it's going to be great. And more information on that. But tomorrow night we'll be doing a little bit of drinky and trying to pick a nice barrel. I don't know if they want us to say the name yet, so TBD on the distillery.
Well, tune in to find it out. There you go.
My Bourbon Journey on YouTube live at 8 o'clock Eastern, I think. I'm pretty sure. 8 Eastern?
Yes.
8 p.m.
Yes.
Eastern?
Yeah. 7.
And I'll be right here, probably.
And I'll be right here, hopefully, if it's not raining.
So join in on that. Let us know that you're in the chat. We'd love for you to come by and hang out. Scott will probably be busting my balls like he always does.
Oh, absolutely.
And it will be reciprocated like I always do.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're going to be throwing it back, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I guess I was involved with the Few Spirits one as a consumer, but it's going to be cool to do another barrel pick.
Yeah, they're always fun to go through
that's
them
gonna be a
and
lot of
taste
fun.
the notes. I hadn't even unboxed the stuff. I need to get all that out, but tune in, let us know you're there. We'd love to see you.
Absolutely. Well, before I get into the question of the show, I know we've been teasing you on this one, so a little bit more tease here. But if you've been wanting a higher end subscription box, you won't have to wait much longer. We're aiming for a September launch date, so just be on the lookout for an announcement on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. We're going to make sure that everyone who wants to be in and a part of this exciting project will have a chance. So stay tuned for more information on that in the coming days and coming weeks. Really excited about that one. That's been something I have wanted to do really since I came a part of the Cigar Club team. And finally excited to bring that to y'all. So stay tuned for more information on that one. Griff, I know you don't read the outline. You'll probably say you didn't get it. You didn't know there was an outline. So I'll just read the question of the show as always and never get to answer these blindly. But today's question comes from I'm just going to try to Jimmy Jarez 8844. What's the best Connecticut cigar in your opinion?
Thank you for your question. Best Connecticut cigar in my opinion. Principal Cigars.
Yeah. The white band?
Yep.
Or the white band is killer.
Yep.
I would go, I've got a couple, I'm going to throw them at you. That was going to be on there. I'm biased. Origin certainly is definitely my absolute favorite. And then I would throw in Warwick, Connecticut. I think that cigar is phenomenal. It's a Connecticut wrapper, but it doesn't smoke like a mild cigar. I would actually say it's probably a medium. And by the end of the cigar, it's maybe a medium plus. It's got just absolutely wonderful flavor and transitions to it. And it's a cigar that you can smoke in the morning, know that you're going to get a little kick out of it. Or you can smoke it at night and, not feel like it's overpowered by whatever you may have eaten for dinner or smoked earlier in the day. So those would be my three.
I also really enjoyed the Aganorsa Connecticut that we had a month or two back. Beautiful cigar. I don't smoke a whole lot of Connecticut's, as you guys know. So Principal
anytime you have a recommendation for one is high up there.
Yeah, Principal would be my definitely. Speaking of, I need to actually smoke that cigar again because it's been way too long. I do remember really, really enjoying that.
Will you drink it with 107?
Potentially, if I get it, yeah.
You don't have a bottle of 107?
Yeah, I do, but I need a Connecticut.
Oh, we'll have to reach out to Darren.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
Also,
it feels good to get back in the saddle.
Principal doing yearly releases would be really cool, too.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
He could do some crazy shit with the amount of, like,
experimental
brain power that he has and
yeah,
creativity.
That man eats better than anyone in the world. He's always posting the absolute most beautiful photos on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where the hell are you? Like, are you just always traveling? Do you just live on a private plane and visiting all these new places?
He takes pictures of everything he eats, just like you.
Well, he eats much more
pictures
photogenic photos than I do, and he's better at taking photos than I am.
True. Did you take pictures this weekend of your food?
Yeah, they all look like ass.
Figured.
I mean, I'm toasted in all of them, and I'm like, either I'm way too hungry to try to get the lighting right, so I'm like, click.
We were at dinner with Vlad and the crew in Vegas, and I swear, like, the lady brought us like a plate with ketchup on it, and Pugh was taking a picture of it.
Listen here. I like to recall it. I like
Here's
to,
a napkin.
to reminisce.
Please hold the napkin.
Hold on.
I need to take a picture of the napkin.
The gram, in my case, the camera's got to eat before I do. And you best believe I slapped hands this weekend before people took, parsley off the top of the calamari.
No,
also,
please,
real quick.
all 6 of you, please do not eat for 5 minutes so I can get my 19 cameras out and take this picture.
Huge fan of Chicago deep dish. Ate it for the first time ever. And, God,
Overrated.
It was so good. We ordered like 3 pies too many. Gave them away to
I need DiGiorno before that.
People experiencing homelessness on the way home because we were leaving the next morning, which was really cool. And really good hungover the next day.
Do you remember what deep dish place you went to?
We went to started with a G, Giordino's or something like that.
Giovanni's, Giardelli's, I don't know.
Something. Giordano's, yeah.
I think I actually went there too, and I was in. All I remember was like it was just like this sloppy tomato mess. I couldn't even pick up the damn thing.
No, you fork and knifed it. I picked it up cold though.
But,
God, it was so good cold.
Well, cold it probably like solidifies and actually feels like a pizza, but I don't know. I thought it was a little bit hyped.
Huge fan.
Personally.
I don't know why people shit on it so much, but it's a pie, not a pizza. But it was great. I loved it, and I ate all the Chicago food. The only thing I didn't have was Malort. So I'm still.
Damn it!
I'm still waiting on Malort.
Okay, this is what we'll do. We'll get it from Mobile because it's the most disgusting.
Oh, I'm ready. No one would do it.
It's horrible, but it is so fun to drink together because I can get it down without like kind of cringing or making a face, but there's some people that start gagging, and that's what we'll do. We'll drink Malort one night. We'll do like a trivia thing, and if you get it wrong or something, you have to take a shot of Malort.
I'm in. Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, everyone's like, oh, it's disgusting. You want to drink it. And I was like,
so bad. It's so bad, but it is fun to drink.
I'm in. I'm all in on Malort. So
yeah. Well, you're saying that now. Your palate will be shot after you drink one sip of that.
Let's go. I get real shitty on Malort.
It just takes everything out of you. So, how about a giveaway? Speaking of Malort.
I've got it, and I don't think we've done this. So in the comments below, let us know what your favorite yearly release is, especially if there's one that we don't know about or didn't talk about. Please let me know. I'd be dying to know more yearly releases, more things to get excited about and try them.
Yep.
And then from the comments, we'll pick a winner, and we'll send out a 5-pack of the new Pichardo exclusive.
That's awesome. That's great. Cool.
Well, this was good. It feels, like I said, feels good to be back in the saddle again. We went a week without doing a podcast, so it just it feels good. But until next time, happy smoking.
Cheers, and smoke something good, damn it.